Welcome to Money in the Air, the music podcast about neighboring rights, the royalties you earn from the public performance of your recordings and the business of music in general. Brought to you by IFR, the International Association for Artists and Rights Holders.
I'm Andrew, co-founder and chief royalty officer of Royalty.
Hi, I'm Gina Deacon. I work for Absolute Rights Management and I work with record labels and artists to ensure we claim the royalty income due to them.
I'm Stacey Haber and I'm from Inside Baseball Music Publishing.
Hi, welcome back to Money in the Air, the Neighboring Rights podcast brought to you by IFR, the International Association for Artists and Rights Holders. And we have a guest today. We have DJ, producer, promoter, Ragged Tooth. Hi.
Hi, nice to be here.
We've been talking off camera about neighboring rights, and I've been trying to force you to join PPL for all the recordings that you have up on SoundCloud and Spotify or whatever. And I've been telling you, you have to be the rights holder and the performer. Are you clear on why I'm telling you that?
I think a little bit. I'm someone that needs things to be summarized in a sort of bite-sized portions, as many people are. Many artists I talk to as well. So you could explain it again, in like a more bite-sized portion as to why me or an artist like me would need to do that.
I'm going to let these guys do it because you already had my spiel, so maybe their words will complement.
Yeah, I'll hand it over to you guys.
Gina, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Right, so you have recordings out there in the domain that are being played or could be being played in public. You just got to think about it. If you were playing live somewhere, would you play for free? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
No, okay. So if somebody is using your recorded music, is playing it out there somewhere in public, you deserve to get a little bit of money for that because you've earned it, basically. You've put the work in. You've contributed on a recording, be it your own or be it somebody else's. You deserve to get a little portion of the pie for whatever usage that recording has earned. If they're your own recordings, then the onus is on you to register them with the Collecting Society PPL. It's PPL in the UK. As Stacey said, you need to have an account. It's called a rights holder account. And you need to have that account to actually get those recordings registered with PPL. That is the most important part of it. There's two sides of it, okay? The rights holder side and the performer side. Basically bank those recordings. That's how I say it. You know, log them in, get them banked, and then you can go and you can always add to them afterwards, but it's really important to get them registered. That would qualify you then for the 50% rights holder share from any usage of that recording. But as a performer on the track who's made an audible contribution, so you've made a sound of sorts, be it you've done vocals, you've keyboards, programmed it, even played a triangle, whatever you've done, you are entitled to your share of it. So you would then go in and claim as a performer, so you need a performer account for that as well. Two totally separate accounts, but both the monies, the payments will come from the same society called PPL for any usage of your recordings. So basically, how we like to say it is, imagine a big pile of money on the table that's yours. Would you walk past it or would you want to collect it? I know what I'd do. So
I collect it.
Yeah. So that's what you've got to think about. Yeah. Exactly. It's yours. You've earned it. So think about this money piling up. And then go and get it, basically. That's it. There's a bit more work to do than that, but that's it very in a nutshell, you know.
It makes perfect sense to me. But is it per release? So say, for example, I bring out an EP, do I have to individually go and register each track?
Yeah, you do. So each track has a unique code, and I'd like to identify. It's called an ISRC, International Standard Recording Code. You can get that from basically whoever you register your releases with usually. I mean, we're a label services company, so we generate ISRCs for our artists. So sorry if I'm being a little bit vague there, but I think if you go to a company to ingest your repertoire, you would be able to get an ISRC from them. So you would need one of those to log your recordings, to register your recordings with PPL. And that is kind of the identifier that most societies around the world would then use to collect your usage and pay your royalty income. How many recordings do you think you're talking about?
Outside of the ones I have released, or the ones
that you've let's start
released?
Yeah, but that you've released, how many roughly?
5. Yeah,
Right, okay.
5.
That's perfectly manageable now. Okay, so if you start to basically get things in order now, then going forward you're just adding to that information. If you would have said, oh, about 100, that's a much bigger picture. There's quite a bit of work to do there, but 5 is really manageable. It seems a bit daunting at first, but you just take baby steps. You just do it bit by bit. Don't let it overwhelm you, and just know that, you know, at the end of the day, you've got those banked, you're there, and you're ready for the next one that you're about to record. Nobody likes admin apart from us guys as representatives, because we do it all the time. You know, we're used to it. But artists want to create. I get that. They don't want to do admin. But 5 recordings is with Stacey there to guide you, I'm sure. You can do that. And once you've done it once, you'll know. Once you've cracked it, you're up and running. It'd be easy.
Can you talk about how money in the US gets to the UK for him?
Yes, I can definitely talk about that. But let me know if this makes sense. So are you using, I would assume, a distributor to put your recordings onto Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple Music. So the distributor is taking care of releasing the recordings on your behalf and then collecting from, say, Spotify. But once the recordings are out there, businesses, radio stations can use your recordings for, you know, radio stations. And because of that, your distributor is not collecting on those types of income. And that's why PPL is there to catch those instances and report the royalties to you in that fashion. So it's kind of the second tier of money that is available for you to claim.
As an example, one of my releases I was a primary producer for. So a friend of mine did the vocals and I made the beat. It got on a playlist in LA, which is where the bulk of the streams came from. So I'd say most of my income for that track would be coming out of streams in America.
So say, for instance, it was really popular here in Los Angeles, and there is a local Sirius XM radio station, because we don't collect on terrestrial broadcasts like normal radio here. It's only satellite internet radio, unfortunately. So if there was a Sirius XM station that picked up the recording because it was popular, say on Spotify, and they used it in Sirius XM, then that money would then get reported to Sound Exchange, which is a PPL essentially here in the United States. And then they would collect that on your behalf and then transfer the money over to PPL. But PPL can only pay you if you've registered that recording with PPL.
Is there a cutoff point to when you can register? And is there basically a point where that money can be lost?
Yes.
That's such a great question. So every society has their different cutoff dates in terms of how long that they'll hold on to money that's been unclaimed. So Sound Exchange, it's 3 years. And I'm going to let Gina or Stacey touch on cutoff dates at PPL and then holding periods.
You have to register it, ideally, in the year of release. A cutoff date was the end of January for anything released in 2023. So we're now focusing on 2024 releases. Bad timing, I know. You have to draw a line under it, and you have to say, okay, I've learned from this. Going forward, I'll make sure I register it in the year that I've worked it. Speak with a lot of labels that haven't registered stuff for 10, 20, 30 years. So, you know, don't feel bad about it. You just have to look at going forward and not going back. That's it.
Because I'm at a point as an artist where a lot of those releases it was a part of a college record label, very not-for-profit, very, you know, to sort of teach us how to navigate the industry as the young up-and-coming artists. But going forward, I'm starting to take myself much more seriously, and I'm starting to identify my image as an artist and what I want to put out. So yeah, within the year, I'll write that down as a sort of rule of thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
that's
That's, I mean, that's great to hear that you are being so proactive. That is brilliant. And you've got the whole year. You've pretty much got almost 12 months now. The quicker you've got them registered, the quicker that you climb that mountain and you've done it and you know what you're doing and you're ready for anything else. But you know that there is no sort of imminent cutoff point looming. So you've got time to learn this. And it is easy. It looks daunting. It's not. Trust me, it's really not.
No, and we can do it together.
Exactly.
I spent an hour online last night with an LA artist who needed some wet ink signatures for France and Germany. Maybe
just to touch on any of you, the process for signing up for PPL, what does it look like for someone that's never? It's fill in the blanks and click on the link on the box on the circle. So the process itself is easy, but I will sit with you so you know, or Zoom sit with you so you know which one to answer. Like you need to know to pick when you register rights holder and performer. And you need to know to click audio and video. And then they always get hooked up on the international mandate part. PPL doesn't explain what it is, so they don't know what to click. So that's where I come in as well.
Yeah, if you don't click that PPL has an international mandate, that means that they're not going to collect on international income for you. So if you want PPL to collect on income from other countries, then you have to sign up for their international mandate. Otherwise, you would go and sign up directly at every society CMO around the world. Sound Exchange, for example, which you could do. It just increases, you have to replicate the process for all the different CMOs. And unless you have significant income in a given country, I would just suggest using the international mandate.
Yeah, I would as well, totally at this stage. It's something you can consider, as time goes on and, you climb that ladder to success and you look at somebody doing the work for you and somebody going direct to each society. But as Andrew says, that's spot on. Yeah, I would do the international mandate. But one couple of little tips for the application process with PPL. Get your ID ready so that it's there in front of you so you are good to go and you don't have to keep kind of stalling. So get something like a driving license is perfect if you've got that because it's got photo ID and an address. If you don't have that, get something like a passport and a utility bill. So that's got your photo and it's got your address on it. Get that together and then you're not stopping halfway through the procedure. You've got it and you're good to go. Another thing that sometimes people forget to do when they're doing the application is you complete the form and then you have to, from memory, I think it comes back, you have to sign it and then return it back to them. And some people think that at that stage, oh, I've got my PPL ID, I'm done. But you do need to sign that form and send it back to them. Otherwise, you won't have an account.
The other thing is you have to pick a French society if you do an international mandate. Any preferences there?
No, I would. I think they're both as good. Just needle, pin, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you come to do it, we'll do it together if you want. Or go as far as you can until you have questions and then bring them over to me. But it is perfectly doable.
As for example, as a trial, I've got my first jump up track is pretty much ready to go.
Good.
It just needs a little bit more mastering on the end of it. But I think this is going to be my first track as, using my identity as an artist. And I'm really going to focus my attention on things like my social media campaign. So this is going to be my first official thing that I want to start seeing some return on the investment that I've put in terms of studio time. I want to see something back from that.
Good. Then you have something you can measure now.
Yeah.
Good.
Or make a point of following you.
One is done.
Yeah, exactly. We will be following. One really important thing to mention about the PPL thing and Sound Exchange as well is that it's free to join. It's free. You don't pay anything.
Yeah, I think we'd gone over that.
Yeah.
But it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, why wouldn't you do it? You know, that's the thing. If it's free, why wouldn't you do it? So yeah,
Good money.
exactly. They could, instead of you paying them, they'll be paying you. Hopefully.
That's brilliant, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, Chris, for coming in. I really appreciate
A
it.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week. We'll see you then. Have a good one. And remember, if you're not already a member of IFR, go to www.iafar.co.uk and click that join button. Become a member. Bye.